Coming at you live from different places in the world, not very far apart. This is a pre-game show. It's game two, and it's time to win some baseball. What's going on, Dodgers Nation? I am Clint, that guy over there. Wait, I am Clint. That guy over there is Brooke. I'm under him right now, and now I'm gone. How you doing, man?
Good. Not a huge fan of this start time, I don't think. I guess I'll have to wait and see. But I think my complaint was that it's in between lunch and dinner. So, I don't know when I'm supposed to eat or if I'm allowed to eat during the game. It's all really confusing. I wish Major League Baseball would stop throwing me off so much, you know?
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting little setup that MLB decided to go. I feel bad for the people that were setting up that what's that thing called, the Dodgers Drive-In, because I don't know how you're supposed to watch a game at 3 on a projector-y type screen, but it is what it is. If you guys are going there, send some pictures. I'm interested to see what that looks like in the middle of the damn afternoon
with the sun blaring down on you.
So it's going to be fun. Let's dig into some of the comments here, because a few people I'm already seeing right away in the comments are we're surprised to not see Kershaw on the bump, and there's a lot to get into with Kershaw, so we'll get into that in a few minutes. But we got Brian. Brian over here on YouTube says Dodgers in 5. So we're going to sweep the rest of the series. We're going to sweep it out from here. I like that. Our boy Richard Hooker, 6619 caster checking in. Go Blue. Danny saying, please win tonight, Dodgers. Yeah, I can get behind that as well.
I can also definitely get behind a win. I would appreciate that. Mello over on YouTube says, don't forget to get a Joe Kelly bobblehead with it. Don't forget, if you are going to the stadium to sit in your car in the blazing heat, you at least get a Joe Kelly bobblehead out of it. That's a good move, at least, right?
Sure. If that's what they want, if that's what they're going with.
Swag Daddy McGee, classic name, classic friend of the show. He says, love the Tony G start tonight. He also says, I'll take the heat for the loss since I didn't mention I was in the live stream yesterday. He didn't mention it, so it didn't actually count. So now that he's mentioning it, it counts, and therefore we should win today's game. So we appreciate that.
It's the magic of the stream. You have to announce yourself as here. You have to let us know, throw your area codes, throw your zip codes in there, throw your bank account information in the stream. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because I might buy some patio furniture with it, and I don't want that cost going on to people. Brian says, Julio pitching today? No, Julio will be going tomorrow. More details coming in a little bit. We got 702 Vegas in the stream. We got Jesus East Coast fans want to watch the game too. There is that. Getting a game on the East Coast at 6 o'clock instead of 9 o'clock or whatever, 8. I guess that's got to be a little bit better. On the other side, kids aren't going to school these days. Well, I don't know. New York is, I don't know what they're doing. Different times, man. Crazy times.
Yeah, I don't really know how anything works anymore, so whatever. You guys tell me.
Danny is talking about you get a $20 credit along with the bobblehead. That is a different thing. So that is the JT bobblehead. $30, you get a JT bobblehead, and you get a $20 credit for a future game. This one, for the drive-in, they're giving away a Joe Kelly bobblehead, the same one that nobody wanted last year, unfortunately. I think people were returning them, handing them back to the people because, you know how it goes.
It happens to the best of us.
Esmeralda says, super important game tonight. Definitely will dictate the way the series will play out. It's tough to come back 0-2. It can be done. A lot tougher to come back 0-2. We also got 818 in the stream. We got 214 in the stream. We got 512 Twiffity. That's a great name on YouTube. Thanks for hanging out. Kim out in Clovis. A few Clovis fans in here too. Katie's out that way. One of our regulars in here. Shelby in the 602. We got Portland. Michael checking in. Marco in the 40 off the 405 OKC. Oh, not off in the 405 in OKC. Sorry, 405 is a freeway. Not too far.
Those are very different things. Those are very different locations.
All right, let's dig into the big topics today. Kershaw scratched first thing in the morning. They're around about 9 o'clock local time here in LA. Kershaw sideline not going to start today because of back spasms. What was your initial thought seeing Kersh?
Well, obviously, got a little bit of a flashback to opening day because that happened and Dustin May had to start in his place, and that worked out. So didn't feel too bad about that. But then the more I started thinking about it, the more I was like, we've been wanting Tony G to get a start anyways. Maybe this is a good time for it. Maybe this adds up. You get Julio going tomorrow in game 3. That kind of clears the way for Kershaw to maybe get game 4. I think best case scenario, he gets game 4, and that ramps up Walker Buehler to pitch on track in game 5, and that carries you through the rest of the series. So that would be the best case scenario. There's obviously a few things in between that could happen that you hope don't happen, but backs are difficult, man. Especially as a pitcher, backs are very difficult. If your back isn't 100%, you're just not going to be as effective out there. So if they're saying he's at 75%, which sounds probably about right where he's at right now in terms of recovery, I would much rather him be scratched. I would rather go with a healthy Tony G, who is very effective and, more importantly, can get very deep into games if he needs to. I think that's the biggest takeaway for me right now, is that Tony can get deep into tonight's game.
Yeah, we got back scratch now to cat scratch fever. Of course, everything looking good before we dig in too much with Tony. I'll throw it up on the screen while we kind of talk about it. Kershaw was spotted throwing at Globe Life Field today. If you kind of look at this as sort of a side day for him, it does match up well to get him in for, game 4. So Julio announced as the game 3 guy. There's a lot on the shoulders of Tony today. And, how are you feeling about Gonsolin getting this surprising start? Same way D-May got that surprise opening day start. Now perhaps the biggest start of the season, resting on the shoulders of another Dodgers rookie right-hander.
Well, I think the main difference here is that Tony has kind of known that this was a possibility. Probably had more of a notification than Dustin May did. Sounded like with Kershaw, Dustin May basically was told the night before, like, hey, there's a possibility you might have to start tomorrow. So in that sense, I like that Tony's probably prepared, as he has been all year. He's always stepped into big situations when he's needed. I much prefer Tony as a starter than coming out of the bullpen, so I'm glad that they went that route in the first place. But I just think Tony's built for this, man. I think everything about him screams positivity. Everything about him screams confidence. Everything about him says that he can get the job done today. In a big stage, on probably in the biggest game that he's ever pitched so far in his career. I feel good about it. I actually, dare I say, I feel better about Gonsolin going today than Kershaw.
Hey, today we have an afternoon game at a ballpark where the ball seems to be flying now a little bit more with the roof open, so maybe pushing Kersh back a couple of days. It gets back in the nighttime. That ball stays down a little bit more. Kershaw, we know, notoriously, I would call him homer prone, but I'm going to call him homer prone. Again, it looks like through what Dave is saying today and what Dustin is saying today, it looks like the rest of the series kind of lines out. So you got Julio tomorrow. You would assume, you knock on wood, that you get Kershaw in game 4, and then D-May lining up for game 5. They've said Buehler can probably go on short rest for game 6 if needed. I think that would be short rest if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of contingent on the blisters, because it was revealed he has a secondary little blister bugaboo that they're kind of deciding which one wants to pop up more. I would say with all of that, and talking about what we talked about yesterday in this pregame and the what am I trying to think of, the roster and all that, Alex Wood just became a very big factor in this series.
Yeah, Dave wasn't really asked about it, and I don't think he was really in the mood to be asked about it, honestly, but knowing that they kind of knew this over the weekend and knowing that they knew that this was a possibility, you kind of got to wonder if that's why Wood even got the promotion to the roster in the first place, because he can provide that depth. He can give you those innings if you need it. So maybe.
That's a really good call right there. Everything does kind of line up in that way. Digging into a few of the comments here, our boy Santiago over there on Facebook says a lot of people talking crap about Kersh missing his start. They know what it's like to pitch as long as he has and deal with back issues. They'd probably be shutting their mouth. Notorious back issue guy, Brook Me 3 over there, and everything issue. Mm-hmm. He's the most healthy looking dude this side of South Pasadena. But I mean, you know what it's like trying to force your way through that, and if you're seeing, we saw the video there of him, of course, kind of throwing. It looks like he probably could have got something done if he was desperately pressed into a do or die situation. There's nobody else, but you know what it's like to kind of try to get something done being maybe less than 80%. It's not, you're not going to throw out your best stuff. You're not going to put together your best game and possibly hurt your team and hurt yourself further.
I think in years past, we probably would have had to go to Kershaw regardless.
Yeah.
This year's different. We don't have to. There are guys that can get the job done. There are guys that can pitch very efficiently and very effectively. This year is much different than in years past. I think if Kershaw had hurt his back like this in 2017 or 2016 or in any number of years before that, we'd still see him going tonight at 75-ish%, give or take at what he's at. But I would much rather go with a 100% healthy guy that can get the job done and then give Clayton Kershaw the chance to go at 100% in whatever he's needed next. I would much rather prefer that, even if it means we only get to see Clayton Kershaw once in this series, which, by the way, we probably will only get to see him once in this series.
We've seen him once in each of the last two series, and those worked out okay. Of course, different scenarios, but I'm going to go with that. Other side of the field, the Braves lost their left fielder. They went ahead and had to do a roster move. Adam Duvall is off the roster. Johan Camargo's on the roster, kind of adding some utility, but that hurts them a good amount. They lose some power, but they also kind of lose their defensive alignment that have been working well for them. But if anything, they lose I'll call him a gooder bat because I like going that way. I like sounding dumb with it. A more gooder bat even. They lose that guy with some pop, and they add potentially a lot on defense. You too worried about this move or what it could mean for LA?
No, I think I don't know. It's such a weird field, and the Braves have such a weird defensive alignment in the first place. I thought them mixing it up yesterday was going to play a bigger role in the Dodgers offense, but obviously it did not. When you're not putting the ball in play a whole lot and not putting it in play efficiently, it's not really going to matter. It doesn't really change up too much for me. I do like getting the power bat of Duvall out of there just because of his potential. Not necessarily that he's going to come through every time for you, but I do like him out of there.
It's reasonable. Especially when you might eventually have Kershaw on the bump at some point. Again, not homer prone, but homer prone. Digging into the bats a little bit. By the way, we have a Braves fan in here saying chop on. I thought they got rid of that. Come on now. It's 2020, bro. Brosif, Bro Jangles, Bro Diddley. All right, I'm done with that. Plus, I ran out of all the ones I had. Flat Dodger bats in game one. What was your, what's your analyst? Yeah, go for it there. That's the smarter call. What is your analyst take on the Dodger bats?
Man, it's something that we obviously talked about, the fact that the Dodgers just have not hit left-handed pitching. I think more importantly, though, it's a little bit bigger than that. Mookie's obviously been a catalyst all year long. He's been a spark plug at the top of the lineup. The Braves threw every left-handed guy that they could at him, or will throw every left-handed guy that they can at him. They threw, obviously, Fried last night for 3 at-bats, absolutely shut down Mookie, didn't stand a chance. I think he hit like 180 during the season against left-handed pitching, and that would be a problem if you didn't absolutely tear apart right-handed pitching.
Yeah.
So you look at the Braves bullpen tonight. He's going to get a chance to face a right-handed pitcher, which is good for him. It's good for the Dodgers. But when we get into those later innings, expect guys like Will Smith, expect guys like, what's the other guy's name? Grant Dayton. And I think they have 4 left-handed relievers coming out of the bullpen during the NLCS. So with that in mind, the Braves are going to have the advantage probably in the later innings over Mookie. But, man, it just – you can't do much if you don't put the ball in play well. And the Dodgers did not put the ball in play well yesterday. And I think that's, more than shown through a one run outing.
It's pretty. I hate to say, but it's pretty par for the course for LA to kind of have that approach. Lefty, they haven't seen this year at all. They've only seen him, I think, for 1 inning in the past or something like that. I forgot how many times he's thrown against LA. He did get hurt that one, his first start at Dodger Stadium last year, but he's a guy that. Everything was lined up for him to give the Dodgers fits, and it looked like the Braves came out ready to do everything they could to take that game one with the way they lined up their starters, with the way they lined up or the starter, the bullpen. Everything was there. Now, okay, if you blew your load in the first game, you got to feel good as a Dodger going forward. Plus, another thing they kind of learned. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but that yesterday, or I should say last night, kind of felt a little bit like that. What they called the punch in the face that happened in San Diego, where the Dodgers just really got out youthed by the Padres, and it kind of feels a little bit that way. They talked a little bit about in the post game. Kike mentioned the energy that the Braves side of it. They have more young, dynamic players, which is, I think, baseball's way of saying Latin players, that, they play with more fun. We, as I will say it, Sam Pasillas, we play with more fun. We're out there being loud and, having a good time at the game because it's a game. That's what it's supposed to be. And if, you show up there, Dodgers trying to be stoic and just be like, hey, we're supposed to be here. We're doing this. It didn't seem to play them well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Dodgers be a little bit more rah-rah, especially with the fans in the stands and family and all this other stuff. There's a lot of variables there that maybe finding that balance. I had tweeted last night too. I think we could say the Dodgers just don't know how to play it with fans in the stands. First time in 2020.
That's true. That's a good point. It's the first time in 2020, and it's the first time that they looked pretty bad in 2020. So, maybe that plays into it a little bit. I think I saw the tweet where it's Cody Bellinger that said, hey, those cardboard cutouts are moving around.
Yeah, that's it's got to be a little bit of a shocker for these people out there. Moving ahead, by the way, Ricky Bobby Trujillo appreciates your multitasking. Both of him and I are multitasking in some crazy ways right here. You guys wouldn't believe. Tremendous multitasking. But
tremendous.
So I would ring the bell, but I don't want to wake up the household because it's still early. It's so early. This game is so early. But getting to the lineup here, let's do the Dodgers side first. I would say the worst part of not having Kershaw on the mound is that we don't get #playoff Barnes in the lineup tonight.
I know, it's a real shame that we have to lose Austin Barnes' bat during this, man. He was really coming around into his own. He's crushing the ball, hitting like 800 or whatever he's doing right now. It's a shame. It's a real shame you don't get Austin Barnes in there. Hey, maybe we get his bat off the bench though. We don't know.
It's that's the most 2020 line you could say. We could have said, man, being like oddly, I wouldn't say concerned or sad, but just we're okay with Barnes in the lineup all of a sudden. What a time to be alive.
Yeah. It is a very strange year, and I don't quite understand it, and things are really weird, but I'm just going with it, I'm rooting for Austin Barnes. Here we are, 2020. Let's do it, baby.
Well, let's dig into a few of the comments here on the lineup side. Well, actually, no. First, your commentary on the lineup. Same thing, kind of rolling it out there. How you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I can't complain about it. You're not really changing anything, so I don't know what you expect, but the only real difference is that you get Kike out of the lineup and that you have a right-handed pitcher going. So I don't know how I feel about Jock. I just will never know how I feel about Jock. I keep waiting for that breakout Jocktober moment, and he had a hit last time, so good for him. Kudos to that. But you're still waiting for that big moment from him. So hopefully it comes tonight. Hopefully it comes the rest of the series. Hopefully it comes the rest of the playoffs. But in terms of the alignment, you get Pollock back out in left field. I don't love that, but you just hope that it doesn't really play into tonight.
Yeah, you it's interesting to see. I mean, obviously he's not 100%, but it looks like Eddie Rios maybe lost his DH spot, or I don't know, blah blah blah. The lineups, Dave saying his classic Peterson. Oh, he's the guy who's got us there, or something before. But Landon over on YouTube says, I predict we will see a Jock bomb tonight. So you can brook that.
There you go.
It's in the stream. It's online now.
You can't take it back now.
But yeah, go ahead and start dropping your guys' predictions. What do you think this game's going to look like? What's the rest of the series going to look like? Is anybody's NLCS? I don't know if it's not a bracket, but is anybody thrown off, or is anybody calling sweep? But yeah, call your shots, all that kind of stuff in the comments, and we'll get those before we end up heading out of here. Again, weird start time, 3:05 today. It's on FS1, Fox Sports 1, Joe Buck, John Smoltz again, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that duo.
That's the only opinion that I want out there floating into the universe, because I got a lot to say about those two, but I won't say anything about those two. Did you get a chance to look over the Braves lineup at all?
Yeah, we got the Braves lineup here. I just wanted to point out a number of comments in here are still upset at Max hitting cleanup. So
He's sticking with him, man. He really is sticking with him in that spot.
He's our guy. He's been there before. So Bravo's lineup, again, not too much change. Right there at the top, it's the same. You got Acuna, Freeman, Ozuna, your boy Darno killing the game. Albie, Swanson, Riley, sneaky power Riley got to McGee last night. Was it McGee? I think it was McGee. Markakis and whatever this Christian Panache guy is. He's got some real panache.
Riley got to Trinan last night.
Was Trinan, okay.
Ozzy Albies got to Jake McGee.
There it is.
Which also another surprising power.
Yeah, but I like Tony against this lineup, and honestly, both these guys, both these arms, sort of profile similarly. You know, got fastball, curve, and an off speed. You know, with you got the split change on Tony that we know about. Ian Anderson, they're calling it a straight changeup, but they kind of almost have the same kind of action. So. It's going to be. I think it might be one of those frustrating things, but hopefully for the kid, he kind of gets too much in the moment. Again, this is his first major league start in front of fans, first major league start in front of his family and all that kind of stuff. You got to think that that's gonna up the adrenaline for him a little bit, and you don't know how the kid acts with the adrenaline like that. But we see the starters on the bump. We see the show flow going for Mr. Catman. Anthony Gonsolin. What on the pitching side, what stands out for you about this matchup? First with Gonsolin.
I like the fact that Gonsolin has the ability to keep the ball on the ground, even though it's a big ballpark. That's always going to play up. The Braves do hit right-handed pitching, and there is no secret. There's no hiding that they do hit right-handed pitching. Marcell Ozuna has obviously torn it apart on both sides, so it doesn't really matter. You look at Freddie Freeman, who's hit right-handed pitching very well. I like Tony Gonsolin for this matchup for a lot of reasons, but mostly, and this is probably not the best reason to love it, but mostly I know that he can get pretty deep into a game. If he can give you 6 innings and allow 1 to 2 runs, that's a really good outing from Gonsolin. That's everything that you could ask for in the series. The Dodgers need to score runs, and there's no way around that. You're not going to win the series if you don't score runs. The Braves are going to push runs across. It's going to happen. You're not going to shut them out every single game. So that needs to happen. You look at the other side of the ball, Ian Anderson. I mean, the dude doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. His fastball, curveball, spin are some of the lowest in the league. So that's interesting to note the success that he's had during that, because he has one of the lowest barrel percentages in the leagues. He's only been barreled up 1 time this year on 81 batted balls. Pretty good percentage. You look at some of the deeper stats. I think if you're going to exploit him, if you're going to beat him, you're going to make him throw a lot of pitches, and you're going to make him stay inside the zone, because he does go out of the zone a lot and does result in a pretty high walk rate. He's walking 10% of batters, which for a starting pitcher, not bad, but also not great. So if you're the Dodgers, who love to exploit walks, who love to exploit making pitchers work, that's the way you're going to beat him today. Got to get to that bullpen early.
Yeah, if you can get him... If Dodgers can put some runs up on the board, it'll ease Tony, because you need depth. You need some length out of Tony today, just because you don't know what you're going to get out of Julio in game 3. He hasn't had a full-blown start this postseason. Been fantastic in his role and a difference maker in his role. And then if Kershaw does end up going in game 4, and if it's a reduced Kershaw, this is where now that bullpen and the 7-game series, it could really quickly flip against the Dodgers, where we've looked into as we come into the series, looking at it like having the 7 games in a row was a strength for the Dodgers. Now, really quickly, as you throw off that lineup and that rotation, it can go against us quick. But also at the same time, like our boy Gabe Burns told us earlier on Sunday. Check out the podcast if you guys didn't hear the Braves series preview. The Braves aren't overly flush with starting pitching themselves, so you might have to see a reduced Max Fried come back on really short rest to get the series and whatnot. So, digging into the comments here, Vince on YouTube says Dodgers in 6 or 7. Ozzy's saying 7-4 Dodgers today. Damian going hard. He's calling exact the exact line for Jock, going 2 for 4. No dingers, but he's got big hits, a run and a ribby. We got another 7-4 win tonight. We got John Smoltz sucks. Well,
Well, that's a statement I can get behind.
We got leadoff dinger for Mookie. We got Marcus. I want to see Marcus Lynn get a dinger. It's been a while since we've seen a nice Mookie bomb for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Can Pan Baseball back at the stream today saying Max has been terrible this season. He showed some signs of coming out of it. Not the greatest game. Tough lefty matchups for him yesterday. You know what? I'm going to say screw it. I'm going Max as my pick to click today. I think he runs into one.
I mean, he was my MVP of the series pick, so I think I'm supposed to go with him, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
I would like to see him run into one, absolutely. But I don't know. I'm feeling Will Smith today, He has a tendency to have a kind of meh game and then come out big the next day. So Will Smith's my click pick for the day.
You're going right there with Kenley Jansen Goon Squad with Big Willie style. He's going Grand Slam for Willie. That would be nice.
Ooh.
Maybe first inning Grand Slam.
I would like that. I will take that.
I'll allow it. I will allow a first inning Grand Slam. I'm just
Appreciate
nice
you.
like that. Damien says we need 13 hits and 7 runs today.
That's a tall task.
All right. Why not? Let's go. 100 hits, 75 runs. And if you get enough runs, they have to carry over, I believe. I think that's how it works.
I believe that is how it works.
All right, find a few more comments that you dig, and then we'll go ahead and head out of here. Again, we like to try to keep these to about a half an hour just because, again, that guy over there needs to get home so he can watch the game properly on his couch and with his se habla en español only dog.
Yeah, it's very important. I got to get back to them. We're trying to watch the game today. Diving into a little bit, Leslie Taylor says Dodgers 6-4. I mean, that seems like a reasonable score, especially after yesterday. Isaac Flores on YouTube says, are you guys scared at all? Isaac, I was born scared, and I will never not be scared. So I'm always a little bit nervous about the Dodgers and having to watch them. Christian Tom over on YouTube says, Gonsolin will have a great game today. We are very much hoping for that, and we would very much like to see that. Mr. Bubble up on YouTube says, won't Joe Davis be on Fox? No.
Sadly, no. No more Joe.
Different Joe.
Bad Joe.
Bad Joe.
We got Puppy Butts busting out the Vince Scully and Tommy bobbleheads for good luck.
That should seal it. That should seal the deal right there. That's all it takes.
Yeah, if anybody has your good luck rituals, your things that work for good Dodger baseball, hey, it's time to pull out all the stops. You got to get to the World Series before you can save it for the World Series. So you go now, make it happen, set up your shrines, send us a picture at Dodgers Nation on Twitter with it so we can try to retweet it. Or Gary, retweet it.
One more comment before we get out of here. Go watch the game, enjoy it, have some afternoon beers, etc., etc. Tanner Milan over on Periscope said, just expect the worst, and we might be surprised. And if that doesn't sum up being a Dodgers fan, I don't know what else does.
That's if I had my board, if I had my bell, if I could use my bell, I would bell. But I'm going to one-up you because I found a great comment to end it here. Edgar on YouTube says, Bruce Dar closes out the game and rips his clothes off. You'll love to see it. Bruce Dar has no idea what to do with when he's happy. But, guys, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Go Dodgers. Of course, right after the game where you're watching us, you can watch our boy Doug McCain. He hosts the post-game show. So whatever it is, happy win, angry win, or a very sad or annoying loss, go there and vent your frustrations or vent your happiness with Doug McCain. Again, same spot right after that final out. Find more on DodgersNation.com. Every bit of news that's important to today's game has been posted on the site and more. Check out Blue Heaven. We are a podcast. We're on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Pandora, Alexa's, what do they call that? I probably got to stop saying Alexa. Amazon Music. We're everywhere podcasts can be digested in your ear holes. Yeah.
Well said, sir. Guys, I'm at Brookme3. I'm on Twitter and Instagram. The guy on the one side of me or on top of me or on bottom of me, not quite sure, is at RealFRG. Also on Twitter and Instagram. We're at Dodger Nation on Twitter, at Officials Dodger Nation on Instagram. Come back right here after the game to hang out with Doug for hopefully some happy times, but TBD on that one. And if not, catch us tomorrow on the pregame. Same time, same place.
Also, giveaway going on Instagram. Check out our Instagram, Official Dodger Nation Instagram. Okay, bye.